Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is my March 2023 TBR. And I've only got 2 books planned for March, unfortunately, because I have fallen a little bit behind on my February TBR. Ironically, probably because of this YouTube channel. You know, I originally started this YouTube channel because I wanted to be more motivated to read and I wanted to share my reading experiences with all of you. I've definitely been more motivated to read, but I've had less time to read because I've had to learn how to edit videos and create thumbnails and put all the systems in place that it takes to create videos and, start a YouTube channel. So that's why this one's only going to be two books for this month. However, in the future, you can look forward to me putting out me reading 3 to 4 books. However, that's just why I've been a little bit slow in February. But like I said, I've got some systems in place now, so for future months, I should be able to read more and I should have more free time on my hands because I'll be able to edit videos and do all that stuff a lot quicker. So with all that being said, let's get into the 2 books that I plan on reading in March. The first book I plan on reading is one that you may have heard of because it's being turned into a TV show, and it is Daisy Jones and the Six. At the time I'm recording this, the TV show is going to be coming out in just a few days, I think like March 3rd. The only other book that I know by Taylor Jenkins Reid is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is a book that, if I'm being completely honest, I was not interested in reading. I actually didn't realize that she wrote that book until I picked up this one. But I first heard about this book from another booktuber named Jilly Wonker, and I'll put the link to her channel in the description of this video just so you can go check her out. But she did a reaction video to the TV show's trailer, and I only watched 10 to 15 seconds of it because once I realized I wanted to read it, I didn't want to watch any more of the trailer. You never know if there's going to be spoilers in it. But that was interesting enough to make me actually look up the synopsis for this book and see if I wanted to read it. And it was definitely something I wanted to read. So I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis for everyone. But a quick note about the synopsis. I kind of went back and forth with myself on this, whether I wanted to read the synopsis verbatim from the publisher in my videos or whether I wanted to summarize them. And I think I have a plan for how I want to do that in future videos. When I first talk about a book, I'm going to read the synopsis verbatim. However, when I put out a video on a book review where I've already read the book, I'm going to summarize it in my own words. And I'm doing it that way so that you kind of get both ways, but also I don't want to read the synopsis over and over again. And I feel like after I've read a book, I should be able to summarize it generally well. However, before I read a book, I don't want to misinterpret the synopsis and give my own interpretation of it and then be completely wrong about what the book was actually about. Just know that so that you're not wondering why sometimes I read the synopsis and sometimes I summarize it. That's the plan, First talking about a book, going to read the synopsis. After I've read the book and I'm doing a book review, I will be just summarize it in my own words. So let me go ahead and read this and we'll find out what this book's about. Daisy is a girl coming of age in LA in the late 60s, sneaking into clubs on the Sunset Strip, sleeping with rock stars and dreaming of singing at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Her voice is getting noticed and she has the kind of heedless beauty that makes people do crazy things. Also getting noticed is the Six, a band led by the brooding Billy Dunn. On the eve of their first tour, his girlfriend Camilla finds out she's pregnant, and with the pressure of impending fatherhood and fame, Billy goes a little wild on the road. Daisy and Billy cross paths when a producer realizes that the key to supercharged success is to put the two together. What happens next will become the stuff of legend. The making of that legend is chronicled in this riveting novel written as if it were the oral history of one of the biggest bands of the 70s. In Daisy Jones and the Six, Taylor Jenkins Reid brilliantly captures an unforgettable place and time in an utterly distinctive voice. So what did you guys think of that synopsis? Is it something that you might want to read? Have you already read it? If you have already read it, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And if you plan on reading it, also let me know that. I read it and it seemed like something completely different than what I normally read. However, it did seem like something that interested me. I've read some historical fiction in the past, and I also like historical nonfiction. There's nothing particular about the 60s or 70s that really interests me, but every time period is unique and every one is interesting in its own way. So I'm not opposed to reading anything from the 60s and 70s. That was a pretty crazy time period for the US and the world in general. We had the Vietnam War going on, and we had war protests, obviously, and then We've got like the founding of Microsoft and Apple, and Silicon Valley's really popping off. So there was a lot going on in the world at that time. So I'm pretty excited to read this. Also, it's a book about a band. And while I've never taken music super seriously, I have played guitar in the past, and I started learning guitar when I was in high school. I've played off and on for like the past 10 to 15 years. Haven't played a lot recently, but want to get back into it when I have a chance. However, music's always played a big part in my life, so I feel like this book might resonate with me a little bit. So that's why this one's going on my TBR. Can't wait to read it as soon as I catch up on my February TBR. The next book I plan on reading in March is called The Return. And you may recognize that author, Rachel Harrison, from my February TBR, because I read Such Sharp Teeth in February, which was just simply amazing. I love that book, and reviews going to be coming soon for that. But I actually picked this up before I even finished Such Sharp Teeth because I liked Rachel Harrison's writing so much. She really has like a unique way of writing, and I feel like I'm saying that with like every author, but it's really true. Like Rachel Harrison had some really interesting characters, and they felt. I'm going to talk about it more in my Such Sharp Teeth. So go watch the Such Sharp Teeth review once that comes out. But just know that I really liked Rachel Harrison's writing. So I picked this up before I even finished that book. But let me go ahead and read the synopsis so you can find out what this book's actually about too. Julie is missing and no one believes she will ever return except Elise. Elise knows Julie better than anyone and feels in her bones that her best friend is out there and that one day Julie will come back. She's right. 2 years to the day that Julie went missing, she reappears with no memory of where she's been or what happened to her. Along with Molly and May, their two close friends from college, the women decide to reunite at a remote inn. But the second Elise sees Julie, she knows something is wrong. She's emaciated with sallow skin and odd appetites. And as the weekend unfurls, it becomes impossible to deny that Julie who vanished 2 years ago is not the same Julie who came back. But then who or what is she? So, we've got another typical scary story here. Very generic, but that's definitely not a bad thing. There's something to be said about generic stories, and there's something to be said about very unique stories, especially in the horror genre. You can only tell a haunted house story or a scary story so many different ways before you can't really do anything different with it. But this has got a pretty generic story, it sounds like. I'm sure Rachel Harrison has something up her sleeve with it. Can't wait to read this, though. The cover was absolutely beautiful. Rachel Harrison's writing is just amazing. So I will be putting out a review for this, and I am sure you guys will be watching it. Okay, so that is all I have for the 2 books I plan on reading in March. Like I said, it's going to be a short March month. I've got a lot of reviews from February I still got to get out, and I've still got to read some books from February, but these 2 books are going to be, I'm going to start reading them as soon as I catch up on February, and thanks for watching again, guys, and I'll see you next time.